I first saw her, I thought there was something wrong with my eyes. The girl in the mirror at the end of the hallway. Her eyes were too far apart, her lips too large, her cheekbones sharp and distorted like they'd been sculpted by someone with only a vague understanding of anatomy. I blinked, and she was gone. Only my own reflection remained, pale and confused. That was 3 years ago. I still don't know if what I saw was truly her or just the beginning of everything unraveling. Back then, I lived in Ashwick, a town so quiet it felt like time forgot it. A rail-lined town with one shuttered movie theater, an abandoned paper mill, and a high school where everyone knew everyone else's secrets. Or thought they did. The sky there always had a kind of bruised hue, especially in winter, when the moon hung heavy and blue in the early morning hours. That's when they said it started. The changes. They were just rumors at first. Whispers among students huddled in the bleachers during football games, or murmured over clinking iced coffees at the one cafe that stayed open past 8. Girls, and some guys too, had begun doing their makeup differently. Not different as in new trends, different as in excessive. They layered contour upon contour, created entirely new bone structures with shading, erased eyebrows to redraw them inches higher. They watched YouTube tutorials not to enhance what they had, but to become someone else entirely. And then some of them started to change. It wasn't something you could easily see in daylight, but if you caught them at the right hour, right around 3:12 a.m. under a waning moon, you could notice the distortions. At first, it seemed like a filter on a video call or a trick of bad lighting. A too smooth forehead, the hollow beneath the cheekbone bending at an unnatural angle. Their lips parted when they smiled, but the movement didn't reach their eyes. That was always the most unnerving part. The eyes stayed frozen. One of the first to change was a girl named Kelsey, popular, social media addicted, always filming herself. I remember seeing a video she uploaded, just a get ready with me montage, but something felt off. The timestamps on the video all read 3:12 a.m., frame after frame. Even when she changed outfits or lighting, the timestamp never shifted. We all thought it was a glitch. But looking back, maybe that was the moment she crossed over. Kelsey stopped coming to school a few weeks after that. Her friends said she was working on something big, but no one saw her out in public anymore. Then one night, I saw her, or I think I did. It was late, past 3 again, and I was walking home from my friend Mason's house. I took the shortcut behind the abandoned mill. The air was thick with fog, and the moon was pale and low. Just as I passed the rusted chain-link fence, I saw her standing in the clearing, not moving, just standing, her face distorted like a smear across a wet canvas. I remember my stomach turning, the way you feel when you're about to see something you'll never be able to forget. Her makeup was still immaculate, but her face beneath it was crumbling. Eyes where they shouldn't be. Lips trembling as if struggling to remember how to form words. She tilted her head toward me, and I swear to God, the sound that came out of her wasn't a voice. It was a dry sandpaper sigh, like someone blowing across the top of an empty jar. I ran. The next day, I didn't tell anyone. How do you explain something like that? But others began to notice. More students missing. More faces too perfect. Angular and sharp, like all their softness had been hollowed out and replaced with geometry. And under certain moonlight, you could see it. They weren't just changing how they looked. They were becoming the makeup, becoming the methods. It was as if the makeup itself remembered each application, layering a pattern over their real faces that eventually drowned the original features. And once the new face stuck, it wasn't long before things started to glitch. Eyebrows that didn't match expressions, mouths that twitched open half a second too late, jawlines that shimmered like mirages. One night, Mason asked me why I wouldn't stay out late anymore. I told him it was because I didn't feel like myself after a certain hour. That was true, but there was more. I'd started doing makeup tutorials too. Ironically at first. Just for the laughs. But I'd caught myself going further than I meant to, contouring my chin until it no longer matched the bone underneath, tweezing my brows into angles that didn't belong to me. The mirror began to feel unfamiliar. And then came the dreams. I'd wake up around 3:12 every night, gasping. In the dream, I was standing in front of my mirror, applying makeup with mechanical precision. But when I looked up, my reflection wasn't mimicking me. It was a blurred face, eyes clouded, mouth a trembling smudge. It placed its hands on the other side of the glass, calling me closer without words. I always woke just before stepping forward. I told Mason. He believed me, or he pretended to. Maybe he saw it too. He'd always been into visual effects, video editing. He started analyzing some of those old makeup videos, slowing them down frame by frame. What he found left us cold. At exactly 3:12 in every recording, the faces desynchronized from the movements. For just a moment, barely a frame, you could see the real face underneath, struggling to catch up. And then it would vanish again, overtaken by the mask. It was never clear what would happen if the two faces fully tore apart. In the winter of senior year, we decided to confront it, or at least understand it. We picked a night with the right conditions: waning moon, clear sky, 3 a.m. We brought cameras, flashlights, and walked back to that same clearing where I'd seen Kelsey. We waited. The wind was thin and cold, not loud, but present, like a whisper you could barely make out. At 3:12, the air shifted. And then, they came. Figures emerged from the trees. Boys and girls, faces shimmering like sculpted wax. They didn't walk so much as drift, like marionettes pulled by invisible strings, and each of them wore a face that was falling apart. Blurry, trembling outlines. Makeup flaking like old paint. Some had no features left, just blank skin, smooth and empty, like erased chalkboards. But they moved, as if they still thought they looked perfect, adjusting invisible lashes, pouting non-existent lips. It was grotesque and pitiful. They didn't see us, or pretended not to, until one of them stopped. She tilted her head, again, that too slow motion, and looked directly at me. The air collapsed around us. I couldn't move. Her face was smeared at the edges, but I recognized her. Kelsey, or what was left of her. She whispered something. Just one word. Remember. Mason pulled me back. We ran. We never told anyone what we saw that night, but we stopped doing the tutorials, stopped laughing at the trends, because we knew now the makeup wasn't just a look. It was a ritual, a transformation. And once you went far enough, once you applied layer after layer under the right moonlight and time, it wasn't just your face that changed. It was your identity, your soul, if you believe in that. And if you kept going, eventually there'd be nothing left underneath. Now I live in another town. I don't wear makeup anymore. I avoid mirrors at night. But sometimes around 3:12 a.m., I'll catch a flicker in the reflection, something blurry, waiting. And I wonder if it's still trying to pull me in. If the face I used to wear is out there, wandering beneath the moonlight, waiting to come home.